Okay, just going to do a very quick tutorial on how to do year-on-year calculations in Tableau. It's one of the most sought-after requests that I ever had when I was first starting, and it was one of the hardest things to get my head around until I found this particular technique. So I'm going to get through this quite quickly because it is a very simple thing to do. So as you see, I've already got some data. I've got sale date and sales value. They're the ones that I'm really going to focus on. So to get started, we need to split up the sale dates. We need two calculated formulas for that. So we're going to do the year first. Right, so when we pull out the year, in fact, actually, let's call that sales year. Let's call it sale year. Right, so we need to create a numeric value for the year or an integer for the year. So we're going to call int, and then we're going to do date name. And then because we're calling part of the date, we have to put that into a speech mark, and we have to type year in lowercase, and we're going to pull out the sale date. We'll close that off because we've got two brackets that side, so we need two this side. Apply that, and immediately you can see that we've got sale year. We need to do the same thing for the month, so if we create the calculated field, and we'll call this one sale month. Now on this one, we don't need a number, we need a name. So we're not going to call integer, we're just going to call the actual name, so we get a string value. So on this one, we're just going to do date name. And again, in lowercase, we'll do month, and we'll do sale date. Pop that in there, and now you see we've got our sale month and our sale year. Now there's a reason we do these before we do the next part, and the next part being the parameters. So we'll create a parameter for the year. Now because we called that as integer, we're also going to create this as an integer, and we'll create a list. And because we've already got a calculated field to pull that from, we can add the values from that. So if we pull in sale year, we can see we've got 2020 down to 2022. However, it doesn't look like a year when we display it here. So we're going to go to the display format. We'll go to a custom number, drop the decimals to 0 and get rid of the thousand separator. And now you can see we've got the display there. And if you want to test that, we can right click it, click show parameter, and then we can see we've got a selection here. So we need to do another parameter now for the month. We'll call this one month. Now this is just a string one, so we'll pull it as string. We'll create a list, and again we'll just add the values from that field we created. And now you can see, rather than having to type January, February, March, and so forth, we just add them all straight in, and we'll add that as well. So now we've got the years, and we've also got the months. So the next thing we need to do now is take the sales value, and we need to pass that through these parameters. So we'll start by creating a calculated field, and we'll call this sales value CY for current year. Now, all we basically need to do now is say that if the sale date is in the year and the month that we select in the parameters, then calculate the sales value. So to do that, it's just if the sale month, or actually this is just me being a little bit pedantic, but we'll do sale year equals year. So you see the calculation is in the orange and the parameter is purple. And sale month equals month. Then we want the sales value. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to call the sum of the sale value there. And we'll end that. I've done it the wrong way around. Sorry, it's my order of operations. We'll do sum. I'd say the order of operations, if I'm ever going to get anything wrong, it's that. There we go. So now we have the sum of the sales value where these conditions meet the parameters, and we can apply that. And we can test this as well. So if we add this in now, and we'll pop that over to this, we can see that this is telling us that according to the parameters, in January 2020 the sales value was 93,147, and we can very easily test that just by bringing the actual sale date in. Let's open that up. So we've got, so I'm trying to get through this too quickly now. Open that up, so we've got month, flip that over there and bring the sales value. That one. There we go. 93,147, 92,147, and just as a test, let's try October, where it's 80,157, 80,157. So it's very easy to validate that data. Now, we need to bring in the value of the prior year to the one we're selecting here. So we'll have the same month, but the year before. So let's bring this to 2021. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this field. We're going to rename it ever so slightly, PY. And all we're going to do is just minus 1 year off of the sale year parameter. So it's the exact same sum, but we've got minus 1 year in there. And then we'll apply that. And now let's bring that in. So now we can see the current year is 75,000, the prior year 80,157. So let's test that. So when we look at the current year is 2021 and the month is October. So hopefully if we look at the other sheet, we'll have 75,879 for October 2021. Look at that. And then for the same year, or for the same month prior year, 80,157. So that adds up perfectly. So next we need to work out the difference between the two. And again, this is a very, very, very simple thing to do. So we'll just call this diff for now. We can call this whatever you want, but we'll just call it diff. And we'll do sales value of the current year, take away the sales value of the prior year. And we'll apply that, bring that in. So we can see we've got a £4,000 difference, dollars, pounds, whatever your trading is. But what we really want to do there is now work out the percentage difference between the two, which is really sort of your measurable figure there. So what we'll do now is we'll create a field called versus prior year. Now on this one, we have to do an order. We have to keep order of operations in mind. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the newest figure, start with the newest figure, and take away the oldest figure. So for this one, we'll do sales value current year, take away sales value prior year, and then we're going to divide that by the sales value from the prior year too. And this should just give us a nice, simple, not too eligible number to start with because it's just going to come up as a 0. But once we convert that, once we format that, over to a percentage, we'll then see that we're actually 5% down versus the prior year. So there you have it. What we're able to do there is see what the current year is, what the prior year is, and then what the percentage difference is between the two. And then as we switch this between months and months, we can see that in April we're 33.5% up, as opposed to March we're 40% up, August just under a percent down, November 17% up. So that's a really powerful tool to use for a KPI deck at the top of your dashboards. You can extend this out to include all the weeks within that month or the days within that month. You can pass any number of measures and measures and dimensions through these parameters using those calculations that I've said there. So you might want to do if the product category matches this and the sales value or the sale month is between this and the sale, you get what I mean. It's a very versatile calculation you can use, and it's absolutely changed the way I do year-on-year calculations. Anyway, look, I hope that helped. I'm sorry I ran through it so quickly. Please feel free to go back, but I will also add some documentation on the back of this as well. So if you do want to take this any further, please feel free to use it. Thank you very much.